Ben & Jerry's is now in more than 39 countries with over 75 amazing flavors, loved by ice cream fans everywhere. But making sure each scoop has that same delicious taste across the globe isn't an easy task. In today's video, we're taking you behind the scenes to see how Ben & Jerry's creates the flavors we can't get enough of. We'll also check out how they keep every batch safe and high quality, so you know every scoop is made with care. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, two childhood friends, launched Ben & Jerry's homemade ice cream back in 1978. And believe it or not, their journey began in a renovated gas station in Burlington, Vermont. From day one, they aimed to build a brand that would not only produce great ice cream, but also educate for social change. To make iconic flavors, Ben & Jerry's starts with quality ingredients. They partner with over 250 farms globally, sourcing everything from vanilla beans to the milk that forms the creamy base. The milk, which is key to their product, comes from local dairy farmers right in Vermont. That's where hygiene hits our mind. In fact, the St. Albans Cooperative Creamery, just a mile and a half from one of their plants, supplies all the milk. Once the milk arrives at the factory, it's stored in a massive container, which has a capacity of holding up to 6,000 gallons. But before this milk can be transformed into ice cream, strict hygiene measures are followed. Everyone, including visitors like us, needs to suit up in gowns, hairnets, caps, and boots. Now let's move to the fun part, making the ice cream base. The milk is sent to a large blender, where it meets cream and a precise amount of sugar. Ben & Jerry's factories produce around 6,700 gallons of cream every single day. Every flavor starts with one of two base recipes, a sweet cream base or a chocolate base. Once the milk, cream, and sugar are mixed, it gets added in egg yolks and stabilizers to give the ice cream that signature smooth texture. If it's a chocolate flavor, cocoa powder is added at this stage as well. This rich mixture is then piped into the pasteurizer, where steel plates heat it up to kill any harmful bacteria. After pasteurization, the mix is stored for 4 to 8 hours, allowing the ingredients to blend. But it's still just a base at this point, with no real flavor added yet. The next step is all about the flavor. After the base is prepared, it's piped into one of the 20 large tanks inside the factory, where the real magic happens. This is where classic flavors like vanilla and chocolate are born. Ben & Jerry's is always experimenting with new ideas, testing hundreds of potential flavors each year, but only a few make their place in the industry. Each new flavor goes through a serious approval process, and once it approves, a minimum run size of 80,000 pints is produced, as they can't afford to miss the mark. One thing that sets Ben & Jerry's apart is how they incorporate their social mission into their flavors. For example, Empower Mint was created to raise awareness about voting rights. Each pint isn't just about satisfying a customer's taste buds, it's also about driving meaningful conversations around important social issues. To add Ben & Jerry's famous chunks, the mix has to reach just the right consistency before it's pumped through a giant freezing barrel, transforming from a liquid into so-called ice cream. But it's not quite ready yet. At this stage, the ice cream is still relatively soft, like the consistency of a milkshake. It's also taste tested to ensure quality. Imagine having a job where you get to taste ice cream straight from the line. It feels like the dream job of an ice cream lover. Now, for many people, the best part of Ben & Jerry's ice cream is the chunks. In fact, the whole idea of big, bold chunks in ice cream came from one of the founders, Ben Cohen, who had a weak sense of smell, which affected his taste and might be faced by other people as well. For Ben, texture was everything, and that's why you'll find massive brownie bites, cookie dough, chocolate chunks, and more in their pints. Making just ice cream won't make someone an industrialist. There is a lot of research and ideas behind it. Back to the process, the chunks are added to the ice cream through a machine called the chunk feeder at this stage. Depending on the flavor, cookie dough globs, swirls of caramel, or big pieces of nuts are added. Every pint is designed to have the perfect ratio of chunks to ice cream, ensuring that each spoon is full of flavor-packed experience. Once the mix is thoroughly combined, it's time for the ice cream to be packed into pints. Workers put the empty containers into an automatic filler machine, which pumps ice cream into each pint with perfect precision. This machine can fill 270 pints every single minute if we talk about efficiency. After the pints are filled, they're sealed with a cover and sent on their way to the next phase of the process. Before the ice cream moves to the final freezer, it undergoes a quality check. Every hour, 6 pints are pulled off the line for a detailed inspection. The quality assurance team opens the pints to check for air bubbles and ensure that the chunks are evenly distributed. They also check pints for the weight, making sure they contain the right amount of ice cream. Pints with anything below the required weight are sent back to be reprocessed. It's a workout for the quality testers, but it's an essential step to ensure the pints are perfect before getting into the hands of the customer. Now, it's time for the ice cream to get pretty cold. After quality testing, the pints are sent through a second freezing process to reach a temperature of -10 degrees Fahrenheit. They travel along a spiral hardener, typically a corkscrew-shaped conveyor belt that winds its way through an ultra-cold freezer. In fact, with wind chill inside the freezer, it can get as cold as -60 degrees. After spending about 3 hours in this freezer, the ice cream gets fully hardened and ready for packaging. Once the pints are frozen just right, they're shrink-wrapped into groups of 8, about a gallon of ice cream in total. But you won't see huge tubs of Ben & Jerry's in stores. They stick to pints to keep the ice cream fresh and prevent it from sitting in your freezer for too long. And let's be honest, their ice cream rarely lasts long after you bring it home, just as they'd hoped. After packaging, these pints are ready for the journey to fans around the world. But there's more to Ben & Jerry's than just incredible flavors. They're committed to supporting local farmers and addressing social justice issues. This company isn't only about selling ice cream, it's about making a positive impact, a message they blend into every pint. So, when you enjoy a scoop of Ben & Jerry's, you're not just satisfying your sweet tooth, you're supporting something meaningful. This focus on sustainability and social good resonates with people, and it's worked. Ben & Jerry's is now the best-selling ice cream brand in the United States and loved worldwide. Ben & Jerry's runs 2 factories in Vermont, 24/7, with hundreds of flavor makers crafting fan favorites like Cherry Garcia and Half Baked, and even socially inspired flavors like Justice Remixed, promoting criminal justice reform. So, the next time you grab a pint, remember each one has a story to tell. What's your favorite Ben & Jerry's flavor? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes looks at iconic brands every week.